it's like we started with don't burn the house down, and then it was like don't flood the house, don't sell the house, don't knock the house down. I try to come up with a new one every time we leave, and he's cottoned on to that, and so now he's like saying shit back. So.
I used to say go fast, take chances.
Yeah,
that was, and I think I actually stole that from.
Now it's on a T-shirt.
Is it?
On Ride Fast T-shirt.
I stole it from.
It just says Ride Fast.
Kathy Arnold.
Ride Fast, take chances. The one I have does.
Really? Mine does. Oh, I don't have it on.
That's a cool shirt, though.
Yeah.
This is what I look like if just.
Okay, thanks, Nigel. On the inside,
Except it's green.
Yeah.
No, bones are green.
Yeah.
No, they're made out of calcium.
I say we start at 6. It is 6:02, and our guest is still not here. So I'm saying this more or less to let the listeners know who are tuning in as to why we're not officially starting at 6 o'clock, because we're waiting on His Highness. And I'll introduce him when we get to that point. We're waiting on his royalty. I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. Yeah, Paul brought a big bottle.
Are you actually sharing?
No.
Okay.
You know who this other person is?
Yes.
Show rules.
Mm-hmm.
I should tap
That's
the keg.
I
really should.
I brought 4.
Oh. All right. Listeners are growing on Mixlr, and we're sitting here to dead air.
Yeah.
You know what?
Is it going out right now?
What?
Mixlr.
We're live.
Oh,
we're very much live right now, and this is what makes the show so absolutely powerful and gripping.
That means I need to start talking awkwardly and making poor jokes.
Don't burn the house down.
Yeah,
broadcasters. Yeah, exactly. Everything starts on time in the professional world. Oh my God, I have a bald spot. Is that a bald spot in the back of my head?
Oh my gosh, Pat.
I just saw that camera.
You're going to have to use sunscreen.
We didn't want to tell you.
Your wife hasn't pointed that out?
No.
Do you want to borrow some head wax?
Just the spray. I'm going to get the spray and spray it darker.
Well, you can make it all shiny like mine.
What are you, theater?
I'm feeling
teacher?
really vulnerable
Drama
right
teacher or
now. I'm
something.
feeling really vulnerable right now, and
I'm so proud that you're in touch with your feelings.
I got to turn on the laptop. Hey, somebody's at the door.
I'll get it.
Who is it?
I'm going to do my impression of Greek wedding.
Greek wedding.
Cool.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Well, that's all right. Officially, I haven't started.
Oh, okay. But people on Mixlr are really confused.
Why is my door beeping like crazy?
He tried a combination.
No, I actually didn't.
It shouldn't be beeping.
It's a bomb. It's a bomb.
It's gonna go. I don't know if you have a beverage preference or anything like that.
I'm not a preferred.
Okay.
I'm flex.
All right. Okay. So if you do, there's all kinds of stuff in the fridge, but I know you're fast, so you might not.
There's some Ovaltine.
There's all kinds of stuff in there, from cider to beer to that's a chocolate cake stout. It's really damn good. It's
dessert?
sweet. No, it's a good beer.
Pork chop in every can.
I'm gonna start
the
theme, which I think is on this button.
No.
God damn it!
Is this where I'm posting up here?
There it was. Yeah, you're center.
Uh-huh.
And the theme's playing, and we're recording. Paul's gonna get you a glass.
Oh,
fancy.
We're not fucking around. Well, if you can't tell, I write these notes before the actual show happens. So I did actually say, welcome to a full house version of the Packfiller.
it's not full.
I was planning on a full house. Shit. I have... How am I going to go from here? I invited the entire revamped Arrive Cycling Club. And some showed. 1, 2, 3. Some didn't. And oh, fuck me. I was hoping that the one and only Mark Hodgson would have made an appearance,
Yeah.
but you know, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other and see which one fills up first. I just want to say before I even get to the show, and the theme should be playing right now, but it's not. So
Do it again.
I have been busy over the weekend, everybody. Are your levels too high?
No, they're just
Are they?
crackling.
Tell me if they get better.
It's at high volume when it cracks.
Sounds
right?
good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's too
Oh,
pitchy.
there it
It's
goes.
off of his mic.
Okay.
You just
Yeah.
have to get used to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can bring everybody
Yeah,
down
that's
a
good.
little
That's
bit.
perfect. Well, there.
That's
crack.
my
There,
job.
Crack.
Just as long as everyone else is hearing it,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
okay. Okay.
yeah.
Where the fuck was I? The wheels
You
have come off
invited
already.
everybody here.
I
Mark
invited
Hodgson.
everybody.
There you go.
I've been busy. I actually, as you guys can see, I've added microphones to the studio. This used to be a 4-person podcast studio. It is now a 7-person podcast studio. I have it. The first mic I want to call attention to is actually at the bar, and that is I'm going to name that the official dismount station, because that's
Yeah.
where Dismount's mic is going to be from now on. So that's his place. And then the two behind us, I've actually labeled as the kiddie table. That's where the kids get relegated in Thanksgiving. It's a smaller table, and it's, you know, and I can control those microphones a lot easier. But we are now a 7-person podcast studio,
Wow.
which is probably a really bad idea.
Was that optimistic or?
Dibs on the kid table. It's more fun than the adults.
I think it's a bad idea, because what's going to happen is it's just going to turn into a gigantic clusterfuck of voices all over the top of everybody. But welcome to the show. Welcome to the panel who did show up and are seated in studio. First and foremost, of course, the one and only Sippy Cup, bet losing and now worst position on the podcast, Paul Main.
Yep.
I have
Yep,
to give him
that's me.
shit because he's way faster than I am, and he'll take it out on me as soon as we get outside. Welcome, Paul.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next, he's the silent rage that is the one and only CP.
No, you can't do that.
That's Jay's.
I'm sitting in
That's
Jay's chair.
Jackson's job. Yeah,
I'm sitting in
exactly.
Jay's chair.
You are, and third, he's getting everything tweaked in. Just having him here in the studio might lead to alcohol poisoning for all of us. He's the guy who we all have to drink whenever his name is mentioned. He's fast, and we will forgive him for the fact that he regularly swims before and runs after his bike rides. Welcome to the studio, Roger Thompson. How are you, man?
Thank you.
Drink, everybody. Yeah.
I brought a big bottle.
Yeah.
Because you're here.
I did have a couple who were out, introductions for other people who were going to be here. I had one for Dismount, and I had one for Karsten.
Do dismounts.
I deleted it, actually,
Oh.
because it wasn't rage. It was just, I just went, oh, he's not going to be here, so I'll cut that out. And Karsten was going to show up, and I'm just going to call him the gravity guru from now on. He's single, ladies, Karsten Hagen.
And didn't he just send in a text
Yeah.
just a couple minutes ago?
Oh, it's classic.
right.
Yeah.
I hope he's not texting in the movie.
Yeah.
He's one of
Probably
those.
is. He's one of those guys. Yeah, exactly. So, Karsten, it's actually probably better in the long run, because now we just know that he won't be cooking in the background and clanging pots and playing his stupid sound effects. So, let's get on with the show, shall we? To start, I want to say we're live on Mixler.com. For those of you, we do have some of you on there. Thank you to tuning in, and as well as our YouTube feed is up and running for now, at least. So that's always a good thing. You can participate in the live shows via the message board on Mixler, as well as via telephone. I don't have the number off the top of my head, so you're probably not going to call, but it is on the Packfiller website, so you can call it there. Big thanks to some of our show supporters. Strangely enough, one who's renewed for this year and an unbiased winner of our recent taste tests. Big thanks to Scratch Labs for being a part of the show, and Paul, I know you swayed to the dark side. You were definitely picking Scratch just because they're your
I know.
favorite.
Yeah. It does taste better. You can't. There's no way anybody would pick anything else. Well,
The strawberry had seeds in it, though. It was kind of weird. I don't know.
we
if you
didn't
guys
do the
had
strawberry. We did lemon,
Yeah.
lime, and orange.
Yeah, we did.
So
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So their product actually has real fruit chunks in it.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Like I said, the strawberries
Right.
has the seeds in it. It's like
How about the schnozzelberries?
the
Tastes like
schnozberries taste like schnozberries. I also want to thank Sam Waples for last week's show as well as the Bike Fit Challenge, mainly because I won. But for those of you looking into it, I can't recommend it enough. I'm a convert, and in fact, I'm talking with Sam about the potential of tandem fit. He's never done a tandem fit, so I'm talking to him about that one to see if we could do that. CP, you did it.
I did. I went. I had a bike fit done about a year and a half ago at Tailwind.
from someone else.
Which went from someone else, which probably put me in an advantage going in. But I went in with a B and I came out with an A.
What?
He's rubbing it
Which
in.
was really actually disappointing because I was really hoping for that. Oh, if you just did this, you'd be twice as fast.
I know, right?
It didn't happen.
That's
So.
yeah. So now, that's what I was pissed off about too
Yeah.
myself. Yeah, I won, but Paul, who's technically has the worst position, is going to get faster from a better position,
Right.
and I'm behind him anyway.
Once again.
And
I'm behind you, so it's like,
yeah, shit, yeah.
yeah.
Roger, do you have a difficult time going from bike to bike because triathlon is such a forward position?
You know, just to go back to what you guys were saying about
Yeah.
bike fit, I had the same dilemma when I got fit by John Cobb years ago, and which is a phenomenal fitter, but I had the same dilemma. I'm like, I don't want to go in and have all these changes made and going, oh, now you're 30% faster, and thinking of all these years that you've been giving up, you know. But at the same time, you don't want to go in and go, no, yeah, you look good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see it.
thank you.
Yeah,
No.
thank
You
you
know,
for the $300.
Right, there you go. And even a little more for him. But
Yeah.
so he made some adjustments, but that was for a more time trial specific position. But no, not really. I mean, it's power. You know, you sit up a little differently on a road bike and even on a mountain bike. And but yeah, I always think if I'm going to go to road or something like that I'm going to have some sore muscles, but it never happens. Your position is kind of the same, just like you guys would do. I mean, granted, you're sore potentially on a time trial bike because of how little you ride it, but
Yeah.
it's rarely coming from your legs. It's normally your back and things like
Hamstrings.
that. Your hamstrings, sorry?
Oh, on a TT, yeah.
See, it was my sit bones that always, I couldn't even, they hurt so bad.
You need to ride my saddle.
Oh God.
Oh, I did get a kick out of listening to you guys, though, because the saddle that Paul has that
Yeah.
Sam hated so much is the one that actually came on my bike, and I paid Paul $1 to take it.
I came out way ahead.
Which saddle was that?
It's Physique, Arione, or whatever.
yeah.
that narrow.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Narrow.
Long.
Yes.
Long.
Yep.
Hateful thing.
Hateful
Truly
thing.
hateful thing.
It's like riding on the skinny end of a baseball bat.
That-
Without the knob.
Yeah, I've got something on the bike I have on the trainer, and it's terrible. I'm going numb every day. And here I just spent all this time with Sam, and I won't put my carbon bike on a trainer. I just can't do it. I feel like it's bad.
yeah, but if I break my carbon fiber bike on the trainer, I get a new one.
How? For your wife approves it?
Making claims on frames like that is very hard to do.
No. I'm not talking about like returning
Oh.
it to the factory. It's,
Right.
It's
Oh,
like,
just getting a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
How am I going to ride? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I can't ride.
Right. I got
And-
you.
and she knows I get grumpy.
I'll just sit around the house and mope.
yeah.
I'll hang out with you. I got you.
Yeah. Okay. So, and some of you guys were asking about where to find Sam in the Spokane area. Tailwind Physical Therapy is the name of the place in Spokane. You can Google it. I think they have a Facebook page and all those wonderful stuff. So it was nice to have a part of that, and that was a great experience. So big thanks to Sam and everybody involved. Chris just actually took out his business card. You collect those things. That's impressive. So let's just start off fluff here, gentlemen. Who's been riding? Roger, I have a feeling you're completely day in and day out. I have seen a lot of skiing pictures of you. young
You
man.
have seen a lot of skiing. I'll send you guys some pics of riding, but yeah, a little bit. Not
Sounds dirty.
probably not as much. I like if I can get out and do something else, I will. But what we had like 45-degree weather 2 weeks ago. unbelievable. I mean, I thought I was like, well, I'm getting used to this cold weather, and then I get home and it's like 43.
Yeah.
Never mind. But no, not a ton. I have yet to have a bike on a trainer. So
Whoa.
yeah.
Okay, there's some things I'm going to be picking your guys' brain about tonight, and that inspires me even more. So you always seem to have, and I'm asking Roger these questions because he's kind of the new guy. Yeah, keep drinking, guys. You've taken on some pretty extravagant goals throughout the past years, everything from some full-on Ironmans to different types of events like that. So what is on your schedule for 2020?
The big one is probably World Championships for short course tri, which is in Edmonton, and that was the big reason to go after that at nationals. Is you had to, just like USA, you have to qualify and at nationals go on to whatever. But so that was a big one because it was in Edmonton, and Edmonton's a drive. So rather than Bermuda, or some crazy place where you're racing, 2 hours and yet you're spending a crazy amount of time. So that's the big one, and that's in August. And then beyond that, it's nationals again, and that's in Wisconsin. And I'm trying to think of some
keep her
of the,
moving.
Yeah, it's but it's so late, so I'm not really stressed about too much other than riding with you guys. I got to be able to hang with. I don't know how long are races. I just remember Ronde. But it seems like all the races have gotten a little shorter. Like you don't see the 90 some odd 112 mile rides anymore, or races, I should say.
No, I think depending on the age, if you're doing age group, you're gonna have a 2.5 3 hour ride. Race.
Yeah.
That's about it.
The race calendar has gotten shorter too. I mean,
Right.
let's be honest, that's one of the biggest things that's happened. But in terms of legit road events, like road races,
Right.
it's, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul. I mean, last year I think there were maybe 2 in the area, unless you travel to
The West Side.
or even Central with Tour de Bloom and things like that. So, and I don't know how long the actual road stages are in those.
Yeah, they could
70?
be. Yeah, some of them are 70. Especially on stage races, you're going to get some shorter ones because the time, and there's different categories. But I think Tour de Bloom, their last stage up at Waterville, have in some categories are only like 35 miles, but that's changed this year. They're adding an extra loop, and I think they're hitting around 50. I think for most categories. But Cat 1, 2s are like 90 miles.
Okay.
Down in Baker City, their last stage is up the mountain at 86 miles plus or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there could be some long ones.
Depends
We're
on
doing stage races.
But I'm sure what is your schedule like though? You're going to probably be pretty damn focused on.
No, yes and no. I mean, it's fitness, it's riding, it's racing, it's it's more fun to ride with people, and I suffer through a swim and run, but the bike's the fun part. That's the
amen.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good night, everybody.
I think I saw all of you guys at a duathlon down in
Hellgate.
Yeah.
Down in
Appropriately named, right?
Yeah.
That's why we all realized that cycling skin suits and tri suits are different.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are. Yes, they are.
I'm not
Yes,
going to
they are.
disagree with you on that one. It's the chafing of my armpits that really kind of bothers me.
The clothing now is, across the board. It's amazing. It's every company has now stepped up the game so much that it's phenomenal stuff.
Well,
but you pay for it.
Yeah, you were the person who I'd first heard the term grape smugglers. So, yeah. And I was wearing them at the time.
They're a good look.
And we've all heard that story. Everybody on the show's like, not again, I'm eating. So
only Carson's eating.
Yeah.
No, he's cooking.
He's cooking. Yeah.
We've never heard him eat.
In
He
the
just
theater?
cooks. So.
Yeah. All right. So I'm obviously not on my game right now, so I'm actually having to look over at my actual audio cues and try and find my news in and news out. Where the hell is my news in? Fart. That's not the one I was looking for.
That's out.
Jesus Christ, Pat,
It's not
you're a
even in there.
professional. Where is my news? What? There it is.
D.
and it's quiet. Let's get straight to where the show should be, actually, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're going to start with some news headlines. You guys ready for this one? I'm sure you've probably heard this one that happened. It was a big one today. And I'm going to screw up her last name, but I think maybe that might not be a bad thing. I don't know if you guys have heard about Denise Betsema, Belgian cross rider. Dutch cross rider.
Let's not get that confused,
yeah,
mister.
Shit, yeah, exactly. So UCI announced that she was sanctioned with a 6-month ban from cycling following her positive test for an anabolic androgenic steroid last year. All right. So she was caught twice. She was given a 6-month ban retroactively, basically. So from, I think, April to October. She's a cyclocross rider. And after these 2 busts, she is finally eligible to compete again with immediate effect. She was going to rejoin her own team, now known as the Pavels Sausen Bingol, according to Sports, and I guess she's going to be able to race on Saturday. The internet, and I don't know if you guys have saw, has been completely lit today. Katie Compton herself is basically, I saw a tweet, and Katie Compton, I think, dropped the F-bomb today. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about this, but what the fuck is going on that somebody can get this should be busted twice for a steroid, a 2 to 4 year suspension. She got 6 months in her off season. Anybody want to make a comment?
It's inexcusable without a doubt. I don't understand. The UCI has not only in this incident, but like even at Worlds, that under 23 rider, was it Hoff?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Anyway,
Wim Hof? No, that's different.
No.
That's
so it's just one of those things that unfortunately cycling is. This is always a thing that makes us a joke.
Yeah.
I as soon as I heard that, I was thinking, man, we're going back to the 1988 when Gurkian Tanisa.
Yeah.
He got busted for steroids during the tour, and they penalized him for 10 minutes. They didn't kick him out of the tour. Yeah. Check it out. And so he lost like he was in the polka dot jersey, so it put him down. That was the punishment back then, and I'm thinking, are we starting to go that direction again? So I don't know. It's unfortunate. I don't. I know that women aren't tested as much, and I don't understand. Is there a different rule? And I'm playing dumb here because I don't know. Why aren't they tested, the same? And maybe that follows also the punishment's different. Is that how the UCI is playing it? I don't know. It doesn't seem right.
I only read a few of the online comments and whatnot, and one of them was that what she was busted for is debatable whether it's performance enhancing or not.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the UCI needs to clean up their act, and they need to decide if it's performance enhancing or not. If it is, it's on the list. You're kicked out. If it's not, take it off the list.
Minimum,
but none of this like, oh, it's only kind of.
If it's on the list, then the punishment and then make the adjustment. Right. You can't say, well, we don't know if it is, but we have it on the list. See, that's that wishy-washy. That's what that
the
kills
wishy-washy has killed it.
Yeah.
Minimum sanction it says here, for a positive steroid test would typically be 4 years. The UCI anti-doping rules provide for reduced bans for unintentional anti-doping rule violations. So they're basically
twice.
Yeah, it sounds like she's going with the Contador defense, like it was in her beef or something like that.
Supplements is a huge thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how they came up with that. First of all, because there's always more to the story, but at the bottom line is if it is a banned substance, it is automatically a 2-year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they can also give, if she gave information, they can also provide, I know USADA can do that, basically have some leniency to plead guilty. Half of Postal did that. Essentially, and then she's, so I mean, again, there's so much to it. To get busted though twice, that to me is who gave the sanction? UCI? Or was it WADA that, or was it her own governing?
It looks like it's coming down that UCI was. UCI announced that she was sanctioned with a 6-month ban from cycling, following this positive test. And it also states here that for cases such as contaminated products, which
Right.
could allow for the accidental nature of it, the UCI rules allow for punishment anywhere from a reprimand to 2 years suspension. And I'm quoting, depending on the rider's degree of fault.
So you would think, though, if that was the case, to alleviate this absolute upheaval of what we're seeing right now, that they would let that come out. They would say, hey,
Yeah.
listen, this is what we found because we talked to her and this is where it was found, tainted beef
Yeah.
or the whole, the soccer team thing or the Contador thing. So you would want to get that out first before you say, oh, yeah, she's been busted twice. We'll give her 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And was it in competition testing?
it was.
Wow.
Let me see here. I'm trying to find if they have the actual information on the article I pulled up, but
So
I'm not that out of touch of reality. I've just been
Yeah.
on the mountain.
no, it's So
Well, there is, you hear about it a lot, cross contamination. People use supplements and that type of thing. It does happen. You interviewed Tom Danielson on and I heard, he said, seriously, I have no clue. I know his comment is, I now know where it comes from, and it was by accident.
Yeah.
But he'd already been slapped once before, and he was cut down. Jonathan Vaughters in an interview said, I know Tom Danielson, and he would not. That was an accidental thing, but the rules are what the rules are. He has to take the punishment.
Yeah,
And that's
and as an
I think
athlete,
the same thing here. Like you brought up, Roger. Oops.
Thank you.
I think there's more questions than there is. That was my point. Is like, why is it that she's not getting slapped? Why isn't knocked down for 4 years? Why are women not tested as much? Why? I mean, if they were, this probably wouldn't be a problem, right?
yeah.
I mean, she might have been using the supplement, if it is a supplement, and they would have caught it sooner and said, hey, but, I don't know. That's goofy.
Unfair.
Yep.
I'd yell at Racer X because he's always in support of the government, USA Cycling and UCI. And I tweeted the other day saying that USA Cycling, who's now trying to basically impose themselves upon gravel racing, and I said, hey, USA Cycling, please stay the hell out of gravel. And he called me a grump, which I thought was the ultimate pot calling the kettle black. In continuing news, another one bites the dust, quite literally. A recent announcement, Ian Boswell, former World Tour Pro rider with Katusha, has announced his focus and switch to gravel. And I what comes to mind is when I saw it on a meme the other day. You've probably seen the meme where it's the guy and the girl walking along, and the guy's got his head turned and he's looking at another girl, right? And the girl with him is all offended. So the girl all offended is represented as the Grand Tours. The guy himself is a Pro Tour rider, and the woman he's looking at is racing 8 days of gravel in the United States and getting paid enough for a sustainable wage and sustainable living. I've talked a little bit to Ian a couple times through social media, and knock on wood, the schedule is for Ian to be on this very podcast next week. So we're going to talk about his change. Yeah, but when I say that, that's when something happens and it goes all to shit. But we'll have to see. But a lot of guys making this decision. Talked to Pete Stetina a couple months ago or a month ago about this decision and what's going on and why they're making the call. Now, Ian had a pretty heavy crash during Tirreno Adriatico this last year.
Bad concussion.
Sixth concussion of his career. Yeah, and he basically, it just sounded like that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But now he's making this idea to switch to gravel full time. I'm probably the biggest fan of gravel in the room, I think, in terms of what's going on with the movement and gravel, things like that. But do you guys have any comments or opinions on something along that level about pro
you're talking about
riders switching to it?
USAC going in,
Yeah.
and I what they did is got all the promoters. What's that? Lifetime,
Yeah.
and a bunch of other
We
people.
own a ton of them.
Yeah. And they had other promoters. I think was that Outland. I don't know if Lifetime has any, but they got all these guys putting on these big racing and said
Lifetime's got Kanza, they've got
Leadville,
and they've got another one in Steamboat, I think.
Yeah, Steamboat.
Yeah.
So anyway, they got these guys together and just said, what's working for you guys, what isn't working. They weren't saying we want to be a part of this. They were just saying, let's. The way USAC worded it when I heard it on a podcast was they were looking for information that they could roll over to the things that they license. I mean, they cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this is the type of activities. I mean, that's how they put it. It wasn't like what's going on over here.
Yeah.
Let us. But that wasn't their
They're
intentions.
They're not pulling a Norba.
No. And the question was asked to, I can't remember the guy who was represented USAC, but they said, is this your way of wiggling in? And he says, no, I'm not wiggling in. This is it all helps if we can all work together and share information that all parts of cycling could improve. So that being said, to me, I think gravel is great at this point in time. I think it's great. I think it's, again, I've said it many times before. It's like early mountain biking, early triathlons where everybody's like, hey, you're out there, way to go. And then pretty soon, even, these pros coming in, there's going to be people who are going to be going, oh, screw it. We just came here to party and,
Yeah.
And I don't think the pros want to change that either that are coming down. Stetina and Boswell, that's not their intention. I mean, they're stepping back and want to be a part of that world. But there's going to be guys behind them that want to beat World Tour riders, which changes the whole dynamic of a race. So, that's my thought.
I love gravel. I think gravel's great. I don't necessarily ride gravel very well, but I think it's great for industry. It's great for sport. It's great across the board. Now, what gravel is doing, I think, is very similar that we've seen in a lot of other areas where and I don't know anything about boxing, but my guess is USA. Look at me.
It's a great
USA.
sport.
I don't think I've ever been in a fight in my life. Actually, that's not true. Someone hit me on the back once, but that was weird. I know.
Sorry.
Sorry. That was. Oh, that's right. Let's do a feed zone.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that you see these little entities come up, and and again, I'll throw a triathlon. You have Ironman, and they don't want anything to do with USA Triathlon. They're their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing USA Triathlon could do is try to pull them into the fold because right now gravel is huge. It's gargantuan. And for USA Cycling to say, you need to be part of us, they better tiptoe around that and say, hey, how could we work together on this? How can we, because right now you've got one of the biggest fish out there. Yeah. And what you're going to do with it right now, how you're going to, get it into the boat is it's going to be interesting. I think it's so. I mean, when I see them drag over pro riders, or ones that are going, well, and again, maybe I'm getting a little long in the tooth in this, and I'm going to switch over to this. We saw it happen it's in everything. I think it's great. If I was gravel, I would be reaching out to these guys that are on the fence and moving that decimal over a spot and drawing a little bit. I mean, look at that one guy that rode for Postal and did some tours that went and did Leadville. What did that do to Leadville? Yeah. I mean, it exploded Leadville, and it's still huge. You raced Leadville. Yeah. And on one of those mountain bike things, and
we don't like to talk about
I know.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
I get flack for it because I was on a hardtail, so people are still giving me shit for it. But you got to do that race on a hardtail.
Is that the one over? Absolutely. Is that the one over there covered in dust?
That's this one right there, and it's not covered in dust. Fuck you.
But that's a great course to ride it. To ride on a hardtail. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of road, a lot of flat. I mean, but so the whole thing is you look at that, you look at Leadville and what it's done, and even the endurance. Think of where endurance mountain bike, and maybe that was the gateway to where gravel is today. I don't know. I'm just curious. I listen to you guys debate about where gravel came from. Are we afraid to ride on the roads, or is it? I just think it's just something fun and new and different. Yeah. And I can throw. I got to figure out what pressure to run and what tires to run. It's all a new little game, versus like, oh great, I got my 25s on. I run them about this and. We go
Let's
fast.
Go.
And
that's how I like it.
Oh, but I don't bury a pedal.
I'm a simpleton. I like that.
Yeah.
You like the one.
I just want
one
to go.
Tire fits all.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree. I'll take the road over that.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Ian's 28. It's not like he's it's not like he's reaching the prime of
He's
his
married.
the end
He
of
has
his career.
He has a kid or kids. I can't remember. So that's
six concussions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That last. If you'll get to hear his story. I heard his story, and
That's brutal.
boy, I would say that's a good way to go. And he's sponsored by a corporation is actually sponsoring him, giving him a job in the gravel park.
Wahoo.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're taking care of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, which is exploding.
He would be a great, if he had a company like Packfiller,
Right.
Yeah.
he would be a great person to represent.
Yeah.
You would look at somebody. He's
Wonder
well spoken.
wonder if my wife will let me extend the credit card. And honey, can I sponsor?
Your logo will be like a chiclet.
Yeah, it's a chiclet on his spot, right on his bottom pocket, right on the right.
Come on,
side.
camera, zoom in a little
Be on his
tighter.
taint is where it would
Covered
be.
up,
Yeah.
covered up with a number.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but it's
Logo on the head
It's
of
my
the safety
kid's
pin.
college. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or a STEM cap or something like that.
A STEM cap.
Yeah, exactly.
Good.
Bar ends. So I think it's cool. The sport is obviously, or that genre of the sport is growing, and there's going to be some growing pains. People are going to get pissed off. The old school guys are going to be angry, but when something's good, it's going to get popular and it's going to grow. So there we go. I have several other news stories, but the only other one I really want to bring to attention is the fact that Albison Phoenix, Matthew Vanderpool's team is been chosen for Paris-Roubaix, and I'm seeing this story, and I'm saying this story on completely selfish motives, because Paul handed me my itinerary today, so.
Wait. Where are you going?
You didn't know that Paul's been to Belgium?
I've been. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, if he's only been once, I'm not really that.
Did you ever?
I've been twice.
Did you see a race there?
Yeah, couple. Yeah, couple.
Did you see pro riders?
I'm rapping. Just listen. Paul and Dismount are gonna be my tour guides.
Are
They're
you
gonna
really
be-
going?
Yeah.
Oh, like I thought maybe he just printed that out.
Holy
Like,
Week.
Yeah.
Just press
The
pay.
holy of all weeks.
Holy Week.
Oh my gosh.
Paul, where are we going first?
We will land in Brussels, and then
Actually, it says we're flying to Newark, New Jersey.
that's
but-
on the way back.
Oh,
Ed.
Meadowlands. It's beautiful this time of year.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to Denver.
Belgium. Oh, sucker!
Wow.
Sure is swampy.
I feel like I've been here before.
They all speak English in a weird accent.
I'm trying to think of
Why is
somebody
everybody
from
here so
Jersey
mad?
Shore.
Joycey? What?
The fuck you talking about? Yeah, I'm doing it terribly, but no, we're going. Okay.
We'll leave April 2nd.
Yep.
We land April 3rd in Brussels. We'll pick up our minivan, load our bikes in there. We're taking our bikes.
Oh, I thought you said
We're gonna-
motorbikes.
No,
Well,
no motorbikes.
I have this new seat
He's got.
So Pat, what bike are you going to bring? I'm just curious. This is
He's debated about that.
I am. I'm on the wall, on the fence. I
think you're in the middle seat all the way.
I probably will be. You guys are going to take the armrest.
back row by
Yeah.
the toilet, non-recline.
Yeah. But you finish this story, and then I'll talk about the bike.
Then we'll travel. It's about 60 kilometers to Izegem, is that where our Airbnb is, and so it's
Don't give that address out. We don't want anybody
No.
crashing the place.
See now I want this. This is the only way that I'd ever go watch a race. Is people say you should go see. You go watch. And I'm like, no, not until I go with somebody that
Yeah.
knows how to watch it. You know, I'm not going to go. Oh, let's just go chase the race and get to the place they already been. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
And sit in traffic and it's like, oh, get a motorhome. Why?
No.
So I can watch it on TV in the motorhome.
Yeah.
Or pay a retired pro
Right.
an exorbitant amount
Yes.
to do something else. Yeah. Get
I
some
once
VIP.
had a connection. I don't anymore. But that I'd go.
Yeah,
with Paul.
it's
He's done.
We're doing Flanders and Roubaix.
Oh.
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah.
And everybody you see on the sideline, you talk about, have you been to the tour? Yeah. You just do it once and say, forget about it.
Right.
You don't. It's too
Really?
much. Yeah. those are the Europeans are like, no, these are the races that matter. The 1 days, Liège, Bastogne-Liège, or any of the monuments. So
Yeah.
Do you drive the rental just like a freaking cheap?
no, I'm afraid to get pulled over.
Oh.
But there's like rules in France. You have to have, if you wear glasses, you have to have a spare pair of glasses in the glove box. You must have a safety vest. You must have your own breathalyzer
And a flare.
flare. There's a kit. So when you rent from Belgium,
I
you have to say,
I have a flair for the dramatic.
yes, you do.
And they still let you into Hobby Lobby.
Well played.
See, he's just a silent rage, and then
Yeah,
he just comes
yeah.
out right at the right moment and just
Yeah.
dings me, just gets me in the back. But we're not where we.
Well,
we gotta. I'm stammering because I'm so giddy about
Well, we'll
this,
be there
yeah.
on Friday. We'll drive and we'll get our bikes assembled. We'll try and go out for a ride, and then Saturday for sure because we'll be jet lagged. And then
Yeah.
Sunday is Ronde van Vlaanderen, and then we'll watch that. We'll go to Garagebergen with Chapel of Muris, and then we'll go there, and then we'll watch there. It's the best thing to do is find a good spot, and that's at Ronde van Vlaanderen. The best spot is. To me, is the Chapel of Muris. It's got so much history. It's been climbed before they altered the series. I mean the layout on the course. And so
And you can get right up there. I mean, you.
oh yeah,
you've
I've got
posted
pictures. I was
pics
right
that are
up
like,
against.
yeah.
In fact, the mayor of Geraardsbergen was like sitting right there, right where the chapel comes up the kind of this cobble climb, and he turns around and hears me speaking in English to some German guys, and some broken German, but English. And he turned around and he goes. He was excited to say, "They're coming in 3 minutes." Like looking at me, and he's like, and the German guys, "Das ist der Bürgermeister," which is that's the mayor.
Right.
The
The only time I heard Burgermeister was in that Christmas show.
Yeah.
I am
Santa
the
Claus is coming to town.
Burgermeister.
There shall be no toys in what was the town? Like it was just like
I
some
can't remember.
shitty name of a
Yeah.
town. No.
Meisterburger Burgermeister.
I banned the toys in the village.
yo.
I had one of these as a kid. Yeah.
Anyway, we went way into the weeds.
Yeah.
So then we'll
Sorry.
go out. We'll do some rides. A couple of guys from Flanders. They've been keeping contact that we met in 2018. They want to ride with us, and then Thursday is recon for Paris-Roubaix. We always go to the Armbrek Forest and then go to the Carrefour de la Robert. That's when you can actually chase around because there's nobody around. You can actually drive the course and
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
Yeah, because but you don't want to block. There's team after teams just go by,
Yeah.
and it's pretty fun. I've got a picture. In fact, about as close from Pat and I is where Peter Sagan goes by me and and the Armbrek Forest, and I hear something stop. I don't want to turn around. I'm in this grassy section between the bike path where most of the Bora Hansgrohe teams going down the bike path and missing the whole, cobble section. But Peter Sagan was on that on the cobbles, and he stopped. And this mountain was on the other side of the road, and like after he left, he goes, Peter Sagan was like 10 feet away. And they were shooting a film for cycling news. And it's called Holy Week. You can purchase it from Vimeo, I think that's the name of it.
Yeah.
And so what happened to his GoPro after hitting the bumps, he was adjusting his camera. But there was a motorcycle riding in the bike path, taking him through there. So
A little
I mean-
backup on the GoPro.
yeah.
Are we still doing some sort of a pre-ride?
There's
thing?
a sportif the day before, both races. You
Yeah.
can do those. But we thought Paris-Roubaix will be too jacked from jet lag and probably beer drinking on Friday night. So, but this is my deal. I don't want to ride.
They have beer there?
Yeah, they have really good beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best. So I don't want to ride the sportif. If it's pissing rain, like
Yeah.
Did
That-
I just
I-
hear that?
no, I'm not going to ruin my vacation because when it's not even raining, it's slippery.
Yeah.
Oh, you're,
And
saying,
if-
you're
yeah.
just saying the
Okay.
danger.
Yeah, the
Okay.
danger involved.
Not,
I'm
you don't want
not-
to ride in the rain.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
I
on the
was-
sportif. If it's pissing rain any day except that sportif, I'm not going to be in a Belgian hospital nursing a miss.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a
So,
really good
no.
point. Okay, that's a good point.
I get that.
So
I was
enough of that.
I was wondering
How
if
are
it
the
was-
hospitals in Belgium?
I don't know. I don't want to go.
Free.
You might want to ask Johan Museo when they wanted to chop his leg off.
Yeah, oh shit,
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Yeah. So I do have to bring up one more news story before we get to the actual interesting topic of the show. Our good old friend Brent Soderberg comes on. He says, "What, you guys aren't talking about the fact that Lotto Soudal is banning alcohol from its riders, from the team? They
That's
can't
just
drink all
stupid.
year." Yeah. As Paul pours his.
There's another one.
Apparently, they don't have anybody
going
on
over
the
the
team
top.
named Roger.
Here we go.
That's Hodgson's fault.
Why do you think Tej Benut left Lotto? It's just a stupid. He went to a German team, Sunweb. They're like, oh no, hell, we drink beer all the time. You know,
It's in our bottles.
I'd drink on that team simply because watching the way Caleb Ewan sprints.
Mm.
He's fast. He's faster than shit. He won this that
crit.
pre-crit
Yeah.
today. Well, I just watched it today, but he sprints with that so low. It's just I hate it.
It's amazing when you even Froome obviously as well, but these crazy, absurd cycling styles. Like
Yeah.
it's just like at some point you did that and you went, "That was a good idea."
Yeah.
You know, it was like
Stumbled into
and
it.
think of
works.
how many people have tried to duplicate that same
Yeah.
sprint
Yeah.
style and ended up doing a lip skid across. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like wow. You know what I mean? It's
I
just it's so yeah.
I get that close to my stem, my rear wheel's coming off
Right.
the ground.
I don't know how it has to slip
Well,
a little bit.
you have to look at his position. One, he rides like a 48 centimeter bike.
Well,
And so
he's
his
like-
wheelbase is probably
he's
the
like
same as
38
ours.
centimeters tall.
I know.
Yeah.
So this wheelbase is way back here. So you use that same wheelbase and you start jacking our height, then, you know,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of physics there. Oh,
Sam.
yeah.
Sam. You think Sam would look at somebody like Caleb Ewan and just go, dude, this isn't going to work for you?
I don't know. Let's ask him.
Yeah, yeah.
He
But I
said
mean,
that
how
when
many
he
kids?
looked
How
at
many
my
kids watch
body.
Froome and decide, they're going up climbs and doing their old,
Yeah.
swivel, going,
Stare at the
I want to be
stem.
like him. I want to be like him.
Yeah.
You
no,
know.
I don't think anybody wants to
Because
be like him. No.
I get juniors. We're all climbing like Eno and
Looking
Le
like
Mans, big, huge gears.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I
Little
know.
kids
Yeah.
out there.
Of course there is.
Little kids out there looking like somebody taped a sex doll to a bike.
What's wrong with that? Is one leg shorter than the other?
Don't
Look
look
at that
up.
mouth.
Keep your eyes down. Keep your eyes down. Don't look up.
Stare at the stem.
Stare at the stem.
or descend like he did on that thing where he was sitting on the top
Oh.
tube and descending. I want to know how many copycats are going to go out there and do that. And
But
just
you know, he did that
crack their
before
frame.
him, way before. At the World Championships.
Who?
No, Pitano went out the back.
Oh, that's
It was Sagan at
Did he?
Richmond. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's.
That's how he caught. He was on the descent. And he
He's
went off
different.
That's
Yeah.
apples and oranges.
That
Not the
doesn't
same.
count. That
Not the
doesn't
same.
count.
He does it. It looks cool.
And there's another U.S. rider. I can't remember. He did it before even Sagan.
Really?
Yeah, in a U.S. race. He's a good bike handler. I can't remember his name
Zabriskie?
because I'm 57. Nope.
No. I was just thinking it'd be funny if Zabriskie did it because he's a funny guy. Gentlemen, I have a short topic I want to ask you guys about 45 minutes into the podcast, and this is all about my selfish therapy here. I want to talk about focus and burnout. And Roger, I found it interesting at the onset of the show that you were talking about the fact that, here you're training for world championships and you're not really worried about it right now. You're not really focused and diehard into the training method right now. I said Roger.
I said it again.
Was it on the mic?
It was.
I gotta get another.
I find myself, and I don't know about anybody else, but I find myself at this time of year always just like, holy shit, it's the new year. If I'm going to be fast, I got to start now. I got to get completely dialed in. I got to do 4 hours on the trainer. I got to just do all this shit right now. And I end up in June, July going, nah. And it was perfect that you opened that beer right when that happened because that is exactly when I say nah. I'm just like, nah.
And that happens every July 13th for you.
It does. It's my birthday. It's the day I just said, fuck it.
Yeah.
So what keeps, and here we've got a room full of people who have been cycling in some way, shape, or form since we were all kids. And you and Paul, I'm looking at you too, because you guys tend to stay fit and fast. What keeps you going after all these years, and what keeps the sport fresh?
Well, I think for me, I've got a little bit of an advantage because I don't focus on one sport. So, and I think that is really a very popular topic now of looking at either it's collegiate sports or just in general of saying we don't need to wear ourselves down in one specific, discipline, that it is okay to cross train, but cross train beyond, something that's moving your legs in circles. So for me, I don't know, like you said, every single year, this happens. Well, I mean, I don't want to say it's pretty predictable, but
but you did.
When you say every single year, it's like, well, you can, and I think let me just go back and say, first of all, we have amazing data that we can use now that we can leverage with whatever platform you use. I like Training Peaks because I'm just familiar with it, and I've got 10 whatever years on it.
Yeah.
But I can also look at that and say, oh, when was I getting a little mentally soft? When were things really hot? And I have to, and I move that window back and forth depending on what it is. So when my April might not be great, but my August has got to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, and that's really what the focus is. But I would also say is always, I like to try to keep it, everything that I do. And I know this sounds so boring, but I like to keep it fun. If it's not fun, if I'm not enjoying it, if it's not exciting, if I have to watch a 1980s film of Paris-Roubaix or something like that to go, God, those guys are badasses. I need to go out and ride my bike. The motivation is okay, but I want to be, I think, Paul, I mean, you do it year round. I mean, you're weird.
I thought
that's not debatable.
I know.
I thought when you said watching 1980s movies and going out and riding, I thought you were actually making fun of Paul.
Right. Well, but I do the same thing. It's just like, the same thing as everybody. You're like, oh, am I behind? And I can look at what other people are doing and going, oh my gosh, they're doing so much. I need to hurry. But it's just like, I know how long it takes me generally to get in pretty decent fitness, and then it's just fine tuning things. And you guys are all the same way. It just takes a little bit to look. But if you're always looking at other people and what they're doing, I don't know. We're all a little different. I mean, we've all said it. It's like great. We all know the people that are awesome in February and March. They're just training the doors off, and you don't even see them in June. And June's a tough month. That's when you're just starting to drift into the season, and then you're going, wow, my spring training sucked. I'm cooked. I don't want to do it, and I don't know. I just for me, that's why I don't like riding the trainer. I hate riding the trainer. I will put studs on my mountain bike and with moose mitts and ride on ice. I mean, I've sent you pictures. I'm out on Seven Hills Course at night while it's snowing, with lights on and stuff. It's just like anything but the trainer. I mean, I'm risking my life, of course, but
but you put cameras on that.
I do.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah. But I think that's fun. That to me is like, who's doing this? No one. But it's not. I'm not doing it to get ahead. I'm doing it just because, this is a little wacky. Yeah. Fat bikes, I don't ride as much. Gravel bikes, I think, are great. I just don't know where a lot of gravel is. But I mean, anything that slows it down to keep you warm in the off season, great. But going back to how do I do? I don't know. I know I need to take time off. We all used to do that in the winter. We all used to take, 2 months off. We hit, if you didn't race cross, which I rarely did, it's like you took all that time off. You took multiple months, and then you'd start in December, start doing some weights down at the YMCA, and doing some cross country skiing, and ride your turbo trainer for an hour, and you just go, be pissed off at it afterwards.
Yeah.
But you weren't doing that 5 days a week. You were doing that, intermittently. And granted, your body is a little different when you're 14, 15, but I don't know. I just think, we're not trying to win the tour, and you just stay healthy and fit. And I think nutrition, I shouldn't say nutrition, that sounds stupid, but what you choose to eat is probably one of the best training management that you can do in the off season. So
Chris, don't look at your beer calorie intake on the label right now. I saw you move the can, and you were. I
was seeing if there's anything left.
Oh.
But I don't know. It's everyone's different.
Paul, you've always, and you're singularly focused. You're a road cyclist, and careers, of staying on top of it and racing and getting back into it and doing it every year after year after year is over probably a 30-year time span.
35, yeah.
35. What keeps it going? What keeps it fresh?
A little bit of Roger. I think you're kind of inspired by numbers. Your numbers. Oh,
Drink.
Yeah.
he had to.
You said it.
I know.
You even incriminated yourself.
Damn it. Yeah, I think numbers are kind of what drives you, right? You look at things. No numbers. That's when when I get into numbers, is when I start getting frustrated and trying to push
as opposed to like last year's stats versus this year's stats.
Well, I use that because I don't keep track. I do have a Garmin, and it goes in my back pocket. I don't even look at it at the end of the ride. I know how I felt during the ride, that type of thing. Otherwise, I'm just like a slave to it. And I had an incident in a big crash when I was slave to the Avocet 35. I had.
You should have stuck with the 30.
What's the one right there on the Peugeot? I don't know what model that one is. Is that a 30?
Yeah, maybe I had a 30 because it was red and it was like
Oh,
really
yeah.
small.
Yeah.
But I mean, all these numbers started, and it's just a personal thing.
Is it? I want it.
Yeah. No.
But it's
my favorite
whatever. Fine. I did multiple sports. Played football, basketball, and baseball since I was 8 years old, and
What was
This
the
is
first
a
one?
sport.
I knew the other two.
what football, basketball, and
What?
baseball.
The first one? What was it? I don't
Football?
understand.
Yeah.
Oh, soccer. Thank you.
No, I
Okay.
didn't play. Throw ball.
in
I played
Reardon?
throw ball in Reardon.
Soccer. I'm on
Football?
the Reardon soccer team.
We didn't even know what that was back in 1977.
That ball's messed up.
So
Soccer is
But-
what it was called when you hit your sister.
Why are you kicking that
Go ahead.
volleyball?
soccer. Okay.
Okay.
But it's just one of those things. To me, it's like this is a sport that I've always gravitated since I was a little kid. I've always wanted to do. I'm laughing at CP.
Yeah, I am too. The world is.
But it's just, to me, what drives me is going out there and smashing a big gear and going, whether it's a training ride or a race. Races are always the focus. So anyway, I don't know what keeps them going.
Do you guys find that different events, signing up for different events, tends to keep it fresh or something like that?
Oh,
I'm-
absolutely. You
Personal
gotta have a goal.
experience, 2016 was when I did Leadville. And that year, I was never more motivated to be fit.
But
and to stay.
truthfully, you were a little scared though too.
It was 1,000%.
Right,
It was,
right.
It was all
Which
about
is
fear.
so awesome. What
It's
a
like,
great.
oh shit, I'm in.
The best motivator.
I'd better get fast. I'd better go out and do 100-mile
Right.
mountain bike rides, and get the feel of what it's like to do that. And I just find that if I don't have something on the horizon, especially in the summer when it gets kind of mellow days of summer when there aren't a whole lot of things going on, I'll just be like, yeah, I don't really feel like riding today.
Right.
And the next thing I know, I'm back to slow again. And unlike you guys, no offense, CP, you and I might be on the same fence right here in terms of I'm trying to get back to where I was a long time ago. And that's never going to happen, but I'm trying to get to a level of fitness that I haven't seen for a long time. And it's making that sacrifice to get to that level. Again, maintaining it is easy. Easier. But getting to that level is the hard part for me. And I find that if I train my ass off all winter because I'm super serious this year and shit, I'm going to do it. God damn it. And then I go out to a race in the spring and I get my ass handed to me. That's it. I quit. Fuck.
But I think what you said is, to me, is the best part is when that fitness curve is so steep that little bit. I mean, when you start at 0, getting to 10 and 20 is pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, when you hit your 80% or your 85%, that's when you start to sit there and you're like, why am I even? I didn't train at all this week, and I did the same thing in this race that I did before.
Yeah.
That to me is that part of how do you eke out that when you get to that 85-90%. To me, that's the hard part. getting to that isn't as hard because you see the growth all the time. It's just like you ride the same loop, and it's like, wow, that was
It's
easy.
the plateau that kills you.
It's and then saying, okay, when can I grind it out to go up a couple notches and what's the cost? And
Is it bad that I plateaued at 30%?
right? We're all different. My VO2 max is 9.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm already there.
Dude,
I'm winded when I fart.
Wait, that's the fart.
I was going to make an altitude joke about the fact that we're in a basement.
I feel better here.
On the South Hill.
Yeah, on the South. Yeah, we're up higher. Yeah, exactly.
This is altitude training.
Can we do this at Paul's house next time?
Yeah, he is a couple
little lower.
blocks lower. Is there an end to a competitive career?
That's the beauty of cycling. No.
No.
I'm going to jump in on that one because I'm probably the least fit and have been the least fit for the last decade. Various
Bullshit.
reasons with a ton of backstory. But I was actually sitting on my trainer listening to you guys last week, and I was depressed listening to your goals because my goals are nowhere near that. My goals are basically not to get dropped 8 times during a training ride with you guys. I mean, it's like if it's 7, I'm good.
Good.
But yeah, right. But that's still a competitive thing. It's like, and I don't mean to rehash old episodes and whatnot, but you guys were talking about what's killing cycling, and that's been a topic on many shows. And one of the things I think is actually, I think Carson, forgive me for saying this, had a good point with Strava.
Wait a minute.
I know.
Carson.
Drink, I guess.
Yeah, it was me. It was me that said that was a technology thing. Was Strava?
Yeah,
Don't give that guy any credit.
Okay. So you took my saddle.
Yeah.
You don't get any credit.
Go my way, bitch.
But just knowing, I've chosen poor training partners, but I haven't raced in more than a decade, because until I can feel like I can keep up with you guys, why pay an entry fee? But trust me, and you know it, and I'm pointing at Pat, and you know it. I am
Who doesn't know
ferociously.
Who doesn't know it?
You don't know it.
Who's
Roger?
All right.
Sorry.
I spilled.
What?
Roger's even drinking his own. Oh,
Yeah,
take a
right.
drink.
Ah,
That sounds nasty. Anyway. Anyway. But it's like every single training ride I've ever done with you guys, anyone that's a friend has become some sort of competitive thing, even if it's just for a split second. It's always, there's something there, no matter how friendly it is. Which is fun.
People are older now.
Yeah.
No, it's still fun.
But he's so old.
That's a good one.
Says the
RT.
youngest one in the room.
Yeah,
Says
RT.
the youngest one in the room.
Yeah.
Are you guys, so Paul and
So it's all
Roger,
competitive.
is there a, and I'm talking about signing up for races and all this kind of stuff. Is there a window at the end of it, or is this just like, I'm doing it, I'm going to be that old guy
I would go
on the
back
velodrome?
to the. First of all, I'm with Paul in some regards. Like if I was in my basement throwing darts, I would probably go, what if there's a dart tournament around here somewhere?
Okay,
I mean, it's just like,
yes.
it's just like whatever you do, it's like, well, I obviously need to go compete at this because I'm pretty good, at least in my basement.
Yeah.
And
There's
There
a dart.
it is.
No, there's a dartboard on
yeah.
the door.
No, that is not a dartboard. Those are soft
Anyway,
tip
sorry.
Velcro
Anyway,
things.
so we're missing the point.
but literally and figuratively.
Ah.
So no.
Good one, Roger.
Damn it. Keep going.
It's getting warm.
Yeah.
But as time has passed and I've done a lot of different events, that I've realized that the race itself is great. That's kind of the celebration. It's kind of the parade of everything. But you have to enjoy the process. You have to enjoy the training. You have to enjoy that part, because if you just sign up for Leadville and go, awesome, that's what's going to get me to train, is that I signed up for something, that's going to be miserable. That you have to go, I'm going to sign up for this because I think I can do. I want to do that, and I want to prepare, and I'm going to enjoy all that. I'm going to listen to podcasts. I'm going to listen to books. I'm going to enrich my whole life. I'm going to
Watch Rocky 1, 2, and 3.
You're on a trainer. No,
Not 4. That one's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to them all. Listen to them all. So, but that to me, as I've gotten older, has been the one thing. Is like whatever you choose to do, you have to look at what it takes to get there, and you have to go, yeah, that's cool. I want to do that. Because if you just look at, I need to get to that end result, and go, oh, I'm gonna have to get up early and do. Oh, that's gonna be so hard. You know, you have to want to do that. And to me, that's the big change. And I like to think that I would ride my bike regardless of if I signed up for a race or not. And I think I would, but I wouldn't probably as consistent. I love the idea of riding your bike to work all the time and stuff, but it's just not the reality for me.
Yeah.
So
I've a couple things. First of all, you talked about the fact of signing up for an event like that and then being passionate about all the steps throughout the process. I remember vividly looking online at those air restricting masks that the douchebag CrossFit guys wear.
I have an altitude tent if you want that.
Really?
Do you really? You know, and I was worried about that kind of stuff. And I'm going, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And
those don't work, by the way.
Does that make the high better?
No, they don't.
It's just a suffocation.
No, it is, yeah. And I didn't buy it, but I decided a week and a half before the trip we were going to drive to Bozeman, Montana, and ride some big rides there, and then we were going to kind of make our way there and do some of that altitude acclimation. But it became a whole part of the process.
Right.
It became so much more of the enjoyment of it, that we're the science of it. And Paul, I know you don't like this, but the tires and the pressure and the trying to figure it all out. And what am I going to eat? And how do I figure out the nutrition
on that is, it doesn't matter how fit you are. If you mess up your nutrition on that,
you got to keep fueling.
So
and all that kind of stuff you become obsessed with and nerding out about. And here we are, 4 guys sitting in a basement nerding out about us, all this kind of stuff. And I guess that's what keeps it going. And you also mentioned, I don't know if I could be a commuter kind of a person. And I was, the other day I happened to see an ad for a big kind of commuter e-bikes, things like that.
Was it the enclosed car? Who saw that
one?
Oh,
I saw that one. Looked brilliant.
I love with the windshield wiper that you actually drag
Yeah, you have to move your hand across.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
And
it's didn't you put it post
It's
that?
e-assist.
I think I did.
Yeah, you did post it on the Packfiller.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
e-assist. And I'm just looking at these things going, I should challenge myself some summer to just spend the whole, 3 months never in a car. See if I could do it. Stuff like that. And afterwards, I'm just like, nah.
But I think
How
that's
do you get your beer?
But I was going to say,
from the
try
store.
quit drinking first.
But these cargo bikes, these are cargo bikes.
That's another reason to buy a bike right there. That's a good thing.
Exactly.
That's another bike.
Yeah.
All right.
I still love the joke that the first bike was built on a Sunday.
Yeah.
The second bike on a Tuesday. The first
Bike
race was Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, I don't know. I'm just hoping I can make it this year.
You got to find, I think that the key to this, in my opinion, what motivates Roger doesn't exactly. We have some things to cross over, but there's other things like that I get energized. Yeah. And you just got to, cross your legs and go until you find it.
The reality, though, I think we would all
find it.
agree that Paul lives and breathes cycling far more than anybody else.
Paul's a mutant.
I mean, and I love that. And you're a little different
in many
time
ways.
in your life in terms of kids and things like that and so forth, which lends itself maybe a little better. And those are just excuses I'm coming up with. But I think I've always thought that.
Yeah, that was Jackson.
Who's 21?
He's my empty.
Yeah, that
He's not
hardly
21
counts.
yet. He's
Hardly
not 21
What?
yet.
He was
No.
drinking at the casino.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
Nope.
Not yet.
No, he
You're
lost his
right.
money. Yeah.
You're right.
Kid's still dry as a judge.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, Rod.
No, that was pretty much. But I guess I don't check out of things. It's like I want, a New Year's resolution, and which my wife has like a 5 pages and small font.
Oh,
and
really?
point and it's unreal. And she has. I mean, it's pretty.
Are they all
impressive.
for you?
Pretty much. I wish he would do that. No.
Yeah. He never does this.
She's
always
great, and she keeps herself accountable. But I always think it's like if it's important to do.
Whatever it is.
Why don't you do it today?
Yeah.
And you know what? If you fall short today, that doesn't mean you have to wait till 2021 to start again.
No,
it's just like
you just open a can of beer and wait for tomorrow.
Right, start tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pick on my wife, but she says it's so great when she sits down with a glass of wine. She goes, I'm not drinking starting tomorrow. She'll just have a sip in classic Michelle
I'm gonna
form.
start all over.
She's got the best delivery of
starting
anybody
tomorrow.
I know.
Yeah, exactly. Gentlemen, should we get to the point and should we have a little fun and do a little Packfiller trivia? I think we should.
How many gallons of shellac is this?
It's
pretty cool, though.
8.
This is how do you not have any bubbles or anything in it? This is really cool.
I spent a lot of time down here with a lighter.
With
Is that
and
how
no
you get rid of
mask.
them?
Yeah.
And use no
And no mask.
respirator
Why
either.
would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
did
this
not
is
ride
alright.
very well on a Wednesday night race that last summer because I was breathing this stuff in for about and here we are talking about something visually on an audio podcast, but the bar that we're all sitting around, the console, I started calling it the console, but now I just cut to the chase and call it the bar. I made with pouring the mix, and stuff like that. And you have to reapply every 4 hours. So I was up at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning doing coats. But anyway, Packfiller trivia. You guys ready?
Did you have to buff it?
Yeah.
in a
what-
small, unventilated place.
Here's the thing. I know you're going on.
Yeah.
This has endured several broken glasses and spilt beer just by me. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have. Oh, yeah. Paul, Maine.
Yes.
Paul, Maine. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
And Pat, I remember when you won that. Right there, that medal at
Mammoth
Mammoth.
Mountain.
It's
Mammoth
the
Mountain,
biggest
yeah.
medal of all time
was.
at that time.
Yeah,
It's
that
in
was-
case-
Now that's smaller than most finisher medals.
It's encased in amber now. The
Yeah, exactly.
archaeologists will find it.
The first game of the evening is simply called I Can Do Better, gentlemen.
I'm out.
All right. The concept of the game is I'm going to come up with a topic, all right? For example, American-made beers or something like that. And somebody will start and say, I can name 10 American-made beers.
Oh.
Somebody will say, I can name 12. I can name 15. Okay, whatever. The
This is like
highest
name
bid,
that tune.
Yes, and whoever gets the highest number and has to actually do it, if they can do it, they can win the points, right? Does that make sense? All right. Turn that shit down.
You guys are older than me.
No, this is all cycling based. Okay, this is all cycling based. So to begin the competition out, I'm going to start with brands of road bikes that are made in the United States of America. Whoever thinks they can name more. Currently made in the United States of America. Anybody want to say I can name blank, and begin with that?
Well, I think we're all thinking right now, just so people know.
10, 12,
Not
30,
American,
40.
not American company, but made
In
brands
US.
of road bikes made in the United States of America.
Road bikes.
Road bikes. This is a big, long pause.
Yeah, because everything goes to Asia nowadays.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Oh man,
So anybody want to
I
say
can say
name?
2.
I say 3.
Roger starts with 2.
Can I say who owns one, but I can't remember the name?
Paul
No.
starts with 3.
I can name 3. I think
You gotta go up.
4.
Okay,
I'm
4. Paul, Chris is out.
1 might not be in business
So-
anymore. Is the problem?
Yeah.
Paul, do you accept 4
Yes, I
as the
do.
challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Raj, you
Okay.
must name 4 road bikes made in the United States of America.
Road bikes.
Road
Actually,
bikes.
6.
You can go
What
with
did I
4.
say,
All you
5?
have to do is
No,
4.
that's all right.
All you have to do is
go
4.
for it.
What was
Yeah.
I at? 4?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you can name 4, you win the prize.
Diamond, Diamond.
Wow. Okay. I'm
Did
just trust you.
are
on
they
that
still
one.
in business?
Died. I thought he died of AIDS.
No. Oh no. No.
Did he-
You're thinking. No. What?
Yeah.
No.
Diamond Bikes was a custom builder from and he built.
Right. So, well, TJ Tollickson is the CEO out of, I think down in, I don't know where he is.
He must have took over the company.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Guys, it's a time podcast.
Diamond.
sorry.
Diamond.
High-end Treks are made in Waterloo.
Yeah, there's
Ah,
one.
yeah.
There's
I'm
one
gonna
model.
give you
Series.
that.
Mm-hmm.
The
That's
Cervelo
one of 'em.
P5X. I know that for a fact.
That
3.
I did not know.
And my other ones were like Davidson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Davidson's
Yeah,
Is he
yeah,
still
yeah.
making them?
Still
Yeah,
around?
he
Yes,
is.
he is. Yeah.
Roger gets the first point.
Those- you got 3 of my 3.
And then I'd throw in like Moots. Is Moots?
Yeah,
Moots.
Moots is. Yep.
Elephant.
Richie's?
I don't know.
And
Are
what?
they
I
bought
couldn't
by
tell you.
Trek?
I didn't realize this was that hard of a question.
That was a tough one.
That was my toughest
Because
one.
Trek, I knew that their upper end was the only
Right.
one they made in the U.S.
Right.
I don't know if they're still.
Does-
But
They might not. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Does-
the 9
but still.
series is.
Does the elephant still make road bikes?
Yeah, oh, God, yeah.
But he doesn't do road. You could ask for it.
You can
could
ask for it.
What does
Just
he only
doing
make?
the-
Shout out to
downhill or-
Evil Mark.
They're
National
called-
Forest Explorer.
Yeah.
Shout out to Evil Mark.
There's an elephant right over your
Yeah,
shoulder.
that's right.
That
They're
green one that
650.
you rode that was
That's a cross
That's a
bike.
Harry
no,
Gary.
like the the was it the elephant? It was like the Ranger. The
Oh, that National Forest Explorer.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Who made
great
that?
bike. That's elephant. That's
Yeah.
I
Copus.
thought that was the
beautiful
cool,
bike.
That was like an
Copus,
early.
thank you.
That was like an early gravel.
He's cranking those things out. They're great bikes. Great bikes. Next category in I Can Do Better. Beer companies that have sponsored cycling teams, either current or defunct. Beer companies that have sponsored cycling teams.
You named 2.
I named 3.
2.
Paul, is it
Hold on.
3?
I'm pondering. Oh, 3.
3. Oh, we're
You gotta
tied
go.
at 3.
I'm at
You've got to have to
3.
go 4. 3. Somebody's going to have to go 4 or
Hang
sit
on.
down.
Hang on.
I think I'm at 4.
Actually, sponsored cycling. I think I said
you-
cycling, not
sponsored-
teams.
Oh,
But
we got to
cycling.
stick with teams are good.
Oh,
Teams
okay.
is a good one.
Okay.
I mean, because
Teams?
otherwise,
CP, you think you can do 4?
I think so.
Okay.
Deschutes?
who?
Deschutes.
Pro?
Deschutes? Pro.
Okay, are we not thinking pro?
How, what level?
We should be pro. We should be
Oh,
high
okay.
end.
I'm got to drop down.
Okay, I'll
3.
catch you back down to 3.
I'm out.
All right. So
Hi.
who do you know?
So
Thank you. Is
So,
that my new sound?
Are we going? That's
if I'm the one, I can give you 3.
you can give me 3.
So Duval
Oh,
in
Who
Belgium.
do they sponsor?
There was a pro Continental Pro years ago.
Okay.
Buckler, which is a
Yes.
non-alcoholic.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Buckler.
Nice.
Coors Light.
Coors Light was
Yep.
one too.
Yep.
what about Killian's?
Killian's.
Oh, Killian's Red.
What about Lowenbrow?
Lowenbrow.
Lowenbrow? Yep.
You get 2 more, Roger, and you win.
Well, that was the. Well, I was thinking Coors Light,
Yeah.
Killian's, Lowenbrow. I mean, the other one was Bud Light, but I couldn't think of the team.
I don't think
so.
Bud
I
Light
don't
did.
think
No, it
they.
was
No,
Bud
that's
Light.
what I'm just like.
Yeah,
Bud
Coors.
Light, I don't think did.
I'll give that to Paul.
Yeah.
But Sierra Nevada sponsored a pro team.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
yep,
that's
yep,
right.
yep.
Touche.
Well, and I was thinking the Amstel Gold Race, but because
They,
that's
yeah,
a
they
race,
sponsor
it's
a
not
race.
a team
Yeah.
per se.
There's more out there.
Buckler, I was impressed that you got
But I
Buckler.
didn't-
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were going like pro tour.
Well,
teams.
that's
Yeah.
my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
1990s.
I was thinking
Pro-am.
like River City Red. I was
Yeah.
thinking Rogue Brewing. You know.
All right.
Deschutes.
Velo
I was going
News.
microbrew.
Velo News' top female cyclists of all time. Velo News' top female cyclists of all time.
I can name 2.
4.
Roger's up there with 4. CP sitting.
And I don't know who they are.
silent
I'm just
but
going to
deadly.
throw out names.
Okay, Roger, you've got 4 to name.
Jeannie Longo,
That is correct. That is 1.
Connie Carpenter Finney,
Connie Carpenter Finney is actually Jeannie Longo is the second of top ranked from Velo News. Connie Carpenter Finney is the 3rd. So you've got 2.
Rebecca Twigg,
Rebecca Twigg is number 6.
Marianne Berglund,
Marianne Berglund is not on that
Ooh,
list.
Inga Thompson Benedict.
Nope.
That would be it.
He had the
No.
first 2 I had,
Yeah.
but Mariana Voss.
Mariana Voss is
Oh,
number 1.
Paul
Mariana
Curran.
Voss is number
Paul
1.
wins.
But I won't give it to either of you.
I'll take it.
Van Morsel was 4. Beryl
Marcel. Oh,
Beryl
yeah.
Burton. Remember that name?
Yeah, yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Alfonso Estrada was
Is Katie
7.
Compton in
Is
there
Paula
yet?
Pezzo on that list?
Compton's not on there. Neither. You just want Paulo Pezzo to
Yes.
be on that list.
Thank you.
And Inayoko Teutenberg is number 8.
I'd
yeah.
be way. Voss would be the only one. The rest of them.
All right. You guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Component group manufacturers, dead or living. Component group
Paul,
manufacturers.
you better get these
God.
bike shop.
Paul's got a shit-eating grin on his face.
I can do 5.
You can
I
do
can
5?
do. Yeah, that's all I can do.
Anybody
Hold on,
wanna
hold on.
challenge?
Maybe. Oh, okay, well, hold on. 6.
Ooh.
5.
And I don't even know if 1 is, so I might lose this one.
CP looks just so distraught. You're like the guy at the end of the bar going, just keep them coming.
She said she'd be here at 11.
Oh, I got the blues.
Yeah.
I'm waiting
So
for
Roger
Melvin.
said 6.
Okay, the one that I'm going to say is probably the one that you don't have.
You can go with 6.
Simplex,
Simplex
Ooh,
is a component
nice.
manufacturer.
Yeah, still functioning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
SRAM,
SRAM,
Campy,
Campy,
Shimano,
yeah.
Suntour,
Suntour.
Mavic.
Suntour, is Suntour still in business?
I said dead or alive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I could have done more than that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking alive.
All
well,
right.
my bad.
At this point,
Suntour.
At this
Yeah.
point,
Pro.
at this
I could've
point,
gone-
we
I
are
could
looking
really
with
go
Paul
on
with
that
1
one.
point, Roger with 2 points, Chris with nil.
Are they still here?
Yeah.
What are some other ones, Paul? That's what I'm saying. Like,
There's I know we're fighting for time, but there's
Oh,
Paul.
sorry.
Paul makes a group, the derailleurs and
You
stuff.
make your Golly. Remember Golly brakes?
Golly.
Ooh, yes.
There's
Modolo.
Sagino.
Full group set?
Sagino.
And
Race
there's
face?
there's FSA.
What'd you say?
Race face?
Oh, I thought you said MySpace.
Mr. Yeah, no
But like
social
full
media.
groups, though.
Yeah, that's what I
FSA
was
makes a
wondering.
full group.
FSA does. Yeah.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're still
So-
around.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wasn't thinking dead. I was just focused on alive. So
Cyclists who have raced for Bjarne Rees, who is now a new
Ooh.
team director, by the way. He's back in
He's
the
back,
picture.
I've
Yeah,
heard.
he's back. He's back.
Is he all the way back, or is he just working on
I
it?
think he's back.
Okay.
Paul's using both hands.
No, I'm out. He's using both hands.
Kind of this.
Paul, you can be conservative or you can go for the big
well,
number.
I'll just work up. I'll say 3,
3? Anybody?
4.
4?
I'm
CP
in
says
for
4.
once.
5.
5 says Paulie.
You're looking at me. Why?
Yeah, because
I'm at the end
are
of
you
the
gonna up
bar
him?
waiting for you guys to go home.
Are you going to up him? Or are you going to let him go with how many was it?
5.
5?
I'll start him off. He's going to beat me. I'm going to start him off, but it'll be Carlos Astra.
No, don't
Oh, what?
guess. Well, unless you're
That's
willing
not
to
a
do it.
guess.
Are you going to go for it? Are you going to try for the point? Nothing can
No.
hurt you.
Huh?
Nothing can hurt you. If worst case scenario, you don't get the
I
point.
still have feelings.
I'll name the 5.
5.
2 Schlecks. Frank.
Yes.
Ooh.
All right.
Mm.
Cancellara.
Yeah.
Yep.
You had, like you said, Carlos Astra. There was Tyler Hamilton.
Yep. Yeah.
That's 5.
Studio
was
Grady.
Studio Grady. There
Bobby
was
Julich.
Bobby
Thank you.
Julich
That
was the other one.
I was blanking. on
There was Lars Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
There, I'm trying to get classic riders in there.
Shut up, legs guy. Jens Voigt.
Jens
Yeah.
Voigt. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Paulie gets the point. All right. And our final category, gentlemen, is, of course, the 13. We can't end a show without playing something from the 13 with sound effects. Gentlemen, our 13 of this year is the best response to the following scenarios I'm putting you into. Okay, scenario number 1. You're riding along on a nice country road, minding your own business. No, that's my old list.
Oh,
That's my old list.
Yeah, yep, I did that one.
I did that one already.
Yeah.
Here's my new list.
Something to do with a floppy?
You're constantly asked to ride with a person or group that you just don't want to ride with. They're obnoxious, slow, they don't follow a single rule of the Velominati, and always come unprepared for the ride. Gentlemen, you have carte blanche. You can be as rude as you darn well wish.
I'm
Because
right here.
whichever,
I can hear you.
whichever response I think is the funniest wins the point.
So okay.
You
so
are-
you have to tell them something.
Yes. What are you going to tell to that person or do? How are you going to ghost them? Are you going to make fun of their wife? Are you going to, okay. You're constantly asked to ride with a person or group that you just don't want to ride with. Obnoxious, they're slow, they don't follow a single rule of the Velominati, and they always come unprepared for the ride. Heaven forbid they make you pay for coffee. What would you say or do to that group or person? It's
I don't know. What do you guys tell me all the time?
Anybody have a response?
That's his response. That's a good one. I don't know if I
Chris's
can beat that one.
response was whatever we tell you.
Yeah.
Today's ride, we're going to do some motor pacing on I-90.
Ooh, that's good.
Read the scenario again. I'm just not grasping this right
You're
now.
constantly asked to ride with a
show up.
person or group that you just don't want to ride with. They are obnoxious, slow, and they don't follow a single Velominati rule, and they always come unprepared for the ride. How do you deal with that person who's constantly asking you to ride with them?
I tell them the whole ride, we're 5311. If you don't have it, go home. That's it. We're riding 5311 in the drops.
Training gears.
Is that
Yeah.
Calmand?
That's where I stole it. It's 5317.
I'm giving that point to CP.
It was better.
Because that was funny. It
Yeah.
was self-deprecating
What do you
humor.
guys tell me?
Scenario 2. You're riding alone on a remote road. A car pulls alongside you, rolls down the passenger side window, and the driver throws a half-eaten hamburger at you, hitting you in the arm with mustard and ketchup stains. The driver then yells in full rage, "Get off the fucking road, you asshole!" How do you deal with that scenario?
Hi, Dad.
All right, we don't have. Next question, please. Next one.
Why
No.
even?
I have nothing.
It's
I have
just a
nothing.
perfunctory
Yeah.
point to CP. Chris, you tied it up by abusing yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, you're on. This is actually perfect because you're all tied. You're on a ride with some new people. At one point of the ride, one of them that you don't know starts telling a story about a race, a ride, or something that happened in their past. It is a good story, but you actually realize they are telling a story that happened to you, and you didn't even see this person when it originally occurred. They are not only clearly lying about their experience, but they are stealing the story from you.
Where in the hell did you come up with that? Holy cow!
I think
What a
we have to.
scenario.
I think
hate
we
to be in
no
his
no.
bed late at night.
I think we have to give this. I think we have to give this point to Dismount.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
He's
lie.
not here, but he has to get this point.
I'm not gonna lie. Somebody's thrown a hamburger at me before and said that. That was a
I had
personal.
a
true.
full can of Budweiser dismissed my ear. Yeah, so
Had a Slurpee thrown.
Right.
Yeah, I've had-
Yes.
So anyway, somebody
Diaper.
stole your story.
No, this is
Somebody
I
steals
think-
your story and is
I'm sorry.
telling it to everybody in the group. I'm not asking what Dismount said. I'm asking what you would do, Chris.
Dismount was at a party.
no.
Oh God, dang,
No.
you're cutting me off. I have no
Yep.
stories of my own. Sorry.
What would I do?
What would you
I've
do?
heard that story
Yeah,
on here.
it's a great one.
Wasn't it on here?
I don't know.
No.
Might have.
I feel like
Maybe.
I heard that.
It's been over 200 episodes. I've
Yeah.
forgotten. I
Hey,
should be
that
making-
is a really tough scenario. I'm trying to think of something funny.
Is there a cute girl
But-
listening?
I don't
wait.
know. I don't have those demographics.
Sorry, honey.
Yeah, that'd be great to ask. So how many are cute that listen to my show?
Are you hot?
Yeah.
Are you listening to the podcast? Because Carson's single. Are you hot
That'll
in
do it.
Belgian?
Oh yeah.
really.
And
Sturdy,
Dismounts.
sturdy
Belgian.
What would I do? What would I'm trying to ring of it.
Somebody stole your story. Somebody stole your story.
Yeah.
I'd probably just laugh because all my stories are so pathetic. If they stole mine, they're ooh.
It would,
I guess
it would
the only
require multiple women who are named after cities. And you can only laugh at that if you know CP. So that's Chris's answer. Veins pulping out of his head.
and his skull.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I would say that's a good story. That happened to me, but I'll tell you the different parts of that story that didn't happen, and blah blah blah.
You
I
just go
can't-
with it? You'd
Yeah,
call
I would
him
go
out.
with it and say, yeah, but didn't this and this happen, or that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd probably
I'm trying to stretch here. I cannot come up with anything.
I would say that I would think they were messing with me. First of
Yeah.
all, I'm just like that's
So-
hilarious.
so
Who
you know
told you
my
about
story,
that?
yeah.
Yeah. But I'd probably try to twist it around just a little bit, but probably just say something that's interesting. I had that exact same story, but I actually have a photo of it and the medal.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that we have a winner. I think we're going to give that point to, I'm out of beer, but we're going to give that point to Roger.
Cheers.
Roger
Cheers.
takes Packfiller trivia.
Oh, I thought I was behind.
That was it.
No, we're
that was
tied.
it. Was you were all
Yeah.
tied. CP came with a late surge, abusing himself and talking horrible things about his childhood. But he brought it out. He was
Well,
like,
you stimulated with the throwing of a hamburger.
Yeah.
That's- he wasn't on a ride. He just didn't eat it, and his dad threw it out.
Dad,
He chased him down.
Dad did that to me once.
you, Father. Now I have lunch.
May I have another?
Oh my
You
God!
can't have any dessert.
Yeah,
That should
you
be-
can't eat your meat.
That should be one of the topics in the future is best cycling story you heard someone tell
See, that goes
About.
back to dismount, Dave.
about something. No, most of them would. I mean, I would think with at least with some of you guys with Randy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, just some of the horrific abuse that guy did to others.
When he wasn't allowed to race at a not Lincoln Park. It was the
Manitou.
no, the Bradleys crit. The,
Oh yeah,
what was that?
it's just
Remember
the
when
Twilight
she said,
series.
"Sorry."
Yeah.
Do you remember?
No,
I don't want to say that. Sorry, I have to. So this individual, I mean, I remember being there watching this in my little 12-year-old, 13-year-old jaw just dropping, going, "What?" with my giant ProTech helmet, and because I got hit by a car and I had to wear this
Yeah.
big giant
Yeah.
glowing
Yeah.
helmet.
Yeah.
So, but I remember he wheeled up with his bike, and she told him, "said Randy, you don't have a current license. I can't. I'm sorry." And he's like, "The only thing sorry about you, Sue, are your tits." You might want to edit that one.
it's all broadcast live.
And I remember hearing that going,
God.
"Oh boy."
To put things in perspective, she was a huge part of Arrive,
Oh.
who's putting on the race.
Oh,
It's like
Yeah.
well, and it was just
Wow.
a training race too. But back
Yeah.
then, it was. I mean,
That's
yeah, you
huge.
didn't race
But
without
that's
his
Randy.
license. Yeah.
we
oh
love him.
my
We know.
God, what a horrible person. But on that note,
Mm-hmm.
thanks everybody for listening. Make sure to check out all things on Packfiller.com, our blog, our list of shows, so much more. I fucking forgot to say thanks to Gooder, who is our sponsor of Packfiller Trivia, and I can't edit. So if you guys, by the way, I do have to give a little plug to Gooder because they are freaking hilarious. They've got this new line out called Carl's Anti-Resolutions, and the glasses names are called, and I kid you not, Hope They Serve Tacos in Hell, Glazed and Confused, Take a Picture, It'll Last Longer, Eyes Scream for Ice Cream, R.I.P. Augustus Gloop. If you've seen Willy Wonka, you know that one. And Suns Out, Buns Out. These are all like fuck your New Year's resolutions. The Hope They Serve Tacos in Hell is a green pair of glasses with tacos all over it. Glazed and Confused obviously has a donut. Take a Picture has beers on it. Ice Cream for Ice Cream have ice cream, anyway, and so forth. Check them out, you guys. Gooder.com. $25 is a pair of sunglasses, and they're polarized lenses, and they're ready to rock. Other than that, thanks to those guys for being a part of the podcast. And I'm sorry I didn't mention you guys earlier. I guess you'll never call me again, just like most of my dates in high school. Until next week, bye.
I'm pissing outside. I gotta piss so bad.
I'm sorry to cross.
go upstairs. My basement.
Oh no, that's right. There'll just be yellow snow. Don't use it.
I promise not to cross stream.
They're literally pissing outside my house.
Put it in a snow cone. Wasn't that off of Jackass?
That was all still live, too.
Oh.
That's
funny.
Stop it.
You got
There
more
we go.
lines in your holy cow. Roadside Prophets.
Oh, my God. Isn't that hilarious?
Radio 1.